coming today. Today I'm going to be talking about kayak fishing. Kind of weird subject really. When I first did it, people were asking me why I wanted to float around on a piece of Tupperware fishing. I was the editor of Sea Angler's review on the subject. But the reason I wanted to do it is on the wall behind me, and that's the beach at Appledore. And it's somewhere that I've fished. I probably started there when I was about 17, so I've been fishing it for about 35 years. There's one big problem with Appledore. You go out and you fish the end of the sandbank, which is probably about 1.5 miles walk from the beach, and that's a big problem at Appledore. Yeah, there's a big problem at Appledore, because you get to be very, very friendly with those guys. Because as the tide starts to come in, that's usually when the fish start to bite. So you're sitting there at the end of the tide and you're up to that kind of calm height. You're thinking, I'll have one more cast and I'm still going to get back. And sooner or later you end up getting a bite in a big orange boat. So after I'd done that 3 times, I thought there's got to be another way of doing this. And the way came to me, I actually met someone dragging a piece of blue rotor-molded plastic through the sand dunes. And that was the first time I'd ever seen anybody fishing, not particularly fishing, but lugging a kayak around. And this guy went out and he went out with some lures and he came back with bass, and I was sitting there thinking, that looks absolutely fantastic. So I got myself down to a local water sports dealer, and that's me taking my very, very first paddle stroke. I really don't recommend jigs, they're not great. They're a great way of getting really wet, staying really wet for a long period of time, but I don't recommend it. That's the best way of doing it. So I must admit, I got totally addicted now. And I kind of look at it and I think, why is it such a cool thing to do? From my point of view, there's the mobility. It's effectively, you've got your own charter boat on the roof of your car. You can get anywhere you want to go and fish. So I'm lucky enough to live down in Devon. I've got all of Devon, Cornwall, South Wales. Just chuck the app on the roof of the car, off you go and fish wherever you want to fish. Access, you can launch almost anywhere. Anywhere where there's a beach, just chuck the app in, paddle off. Tranquility. Well, down in Tinman, we've got a pod of dolphins that come around and play off the boys most summers. You can just paddle out, go and play tag with the dolphins, go and play tug of war with seals and back and break them. There's all sorts of things you can do, but it's a really great way of getting close to wildlife. It's a really good way of meeting people. I got to meet some really nice people. I got really friendly with some. Because it's a really new sport. It's probably been only going 3, maybe 4 years. There's no kind of rules and there's no cliques. So the great thing about it is everybody just helps everybody else out. So if you go along yak fishing and you meet other people, they'll all show you what to do. It tends to be if you go match fishing now, people are like waving their bait and showing you how they're doing it, which is just insane. Whereas kayak fishing, everyone's still really, really keen to show you what's going on. It's a really, really friendly sport. And then the other thing about it, from my point of view, it's certainly really good exercise. So it's a fantastic way. I've been sitting dead inside a gym. Doctors nagging it for years. At the end of the day, I found something which I'll actually go out and do, and it is actually a really good form of exercise. The other key thing about it though, because I am primarily a sea angler, is that you do catch loads more fish. I mean, the great thing about having your own charter boat is there are loads of fish still out there, and you can get to those spots and catch fish. So there's a nice tote off the side of the kayak. Anybody who knows the old Nantucket sleigh ride, which is what they used to get when they were out whaling, one of those would tug a kayak quite well. You can have a really good laugh. Get attached to a kind of 50-pound tote for half an hour, and you can have a great run around the bay. That one's a nice blonde grey, which came out, probably around 17, 18 pounds, somewhere around there. And again, they're a bass fishing dream. Bass is a really easy fish to target for the kayak. You can get some great spots, you can get lures into those kind of areas that you just can't do it on the beach. Okay, the big question that everybody always asks is kind of how much does it cost to get into it. Obviously, you need a kayak. You can really spend up to about £2 grand, I suppose, if you really push the loads out. You can quite easily get yourself a decent kayak, 600, 700 quid, somewhere around there. You're then going to need a dry suit. Certainly in the UK, I'd love to fish in Florida, where you can go out and fish in jeans and a t-shirt. That just ain't the way, and if you go out and fish Yarmouth in January, then certainly you're going to need a dry suit. Other things you're going to need, VHF radio, I'll kind of chat about that in a minute. You need a PFD, it'd be absolutely insane to go out with that life jacket. fitting out, you're going to need all the, you need anchor trolleys, you're going to need rod rests, all those little things are probably going to add up to about another 100 quid or so. Obviously, you're going to need one of those. Which brings you to about 1,500 quid, I'd say, all in. But, it is quite a big but, there's all sorts of other things that you're going to need. By the time you've added a fish finder, by the time you've added everything else, you're probably up to about 2, maybe even pushing 3 grand if you really decide to go for it. So that's what it's going to cost you. There's me playing around in the rocks on timber. And one thing we were talking about is what you should wear. So that's in the middle of the summer. The big thing to think about is what temperature the water's going to be. That's the single thing you should think about when you go out fishing on a kayak. You could end up in the water. So in the summer, when the water's really warm, I'll get swimming in the sea for probably 4 months of the year. And you can go out in a t-shirt, you can go out in a short wetsuit, no problem at all. However, if it starts to get a little bit colder, so later on in the year, that's a shot to October, believe it or not, you need to start thinking about specialist clothing. Now, kayakers out there are going to be thinking in terms of a tag and kind of waterproof trousers, which is fine if you're actually going to be inside the hull in a sink like a city kayak. But they're not actually the ideal clothing to wear if you're going out fishing. Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sitting on top of a kayak, and we're actually going to be doing that at an anchor for kind of 5 or 6 hours. And also, if we do go in, we tend to go right in, whereas if you go in a sink, you tend to roll. So the problem with traditional kayak clothing is you've got that joint at the waist, and the water can get in through that. So I kind of do thoroughly recommend that you go for a dry suit. And that's just an all-in-one suit, covers you almost from head to toe, neoprene or latex seal at the neck. You've got boots integral with it, so that way if you do go in, you stay completely dry, just bob up to the surface, jump back in the app, no problems at all. So I think you'll find that most people who've been kayak fishing for a couple of years or more have ended up buying themselves a good dry suit. It's a really, really good investment. And gents, one that you really should get is what they call relief sit. If you've been out for 5 hours, you'll realise exactly where it got its name from. Okay, there's me in the middle of winter, that was off Lowestoft. I think that was taken this November. If you've got the right gear, it's possible to fish all year round, no problem at all. And you can go out 7 or 8 hour trips, snug as a bug in a rug, provided you've got the right gear. Again, I've already said it's absolutely crucial you wear a PFD. Slightly different from a life jacket, the PFD will let you swim. There's not quite as much bulk there to get in the way in terms of getting back on top of an overturned kayak. Tie yourself on. One thing you need to do here is you need to make sure that you're not going to lose your paddle, because that really is one of the biggest disasters you can have. So what you do is when you're out paddling, you actually leash the paddle direct to the kayak. Never ever let go. So that way, if you do go in, you're holding onto the paddle, and at the end of that leash, you've got your kayak back. It's not a good feeling to be bobbing around in the water holding onto a paddle, watching your kayak drift away at 3 or 4 knots into the distance. That's really not a great way to go. The other thing you should do is if you're anchored up, or again if you're sailing, and a lot of people like putting sails on kayaks, is just to use a tow rope or a leash or something like that, tie yourself on, that way if you do go into the water, you can follow the leash back and get back on top of the kayak. One caveat to that is you should never ever leash yourself to the kayak when you're coming in through surf. If it is going to go wrong, the chances are that's when it's going to go wrong. And absolutely trust me, you don't want to be on the end of a 10-foot length bungee on an angry kayak rolling on the end of it as you get thrust on the beach. So always make sure that you undo that leash if you have leashed yourself on before you come back to the beach. Go to a meet or 3. Again, it's a small and fast growing hobby, and up and down the country there's loads and loads of meets. There's probably about 20 or 30, and these range from 60, 70 people getting together for 3 or 4 days, down to just 5 or 6 people going out and just having a bit of a laugh and actually getting fish. So when you start out, just have a look at the websites, find out where these meets are, go along, and it's absolutely acceptable just to go up to people and say, hi, I've only just got the yak, don't know what I'm doing, can you give us a hand? And people will show you what they've got, they'll show you how they fish, and it's a really good way of picking up a load of information. Again, it's a very new sport, very friendly, no one's going to take the mick, no one's going to say, oh, we don't know, I've only been doing it 3 years myself, I don't, there's loads still to learn, and no one I think will come across with a high and mighty attitude to it. Next thing,